This is day 222 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, please contact me directly. It'd be very much appreciated. Today we're doing still some Kufnun tests, and today we're doing Daled through Yud Aleph. We'll actually be Kufnun tests till the end of the week. Today, I start another 5 days, including today. Sim Dalet. Smag. So obviously, we are continuing with the issue of yesterday in terms of the neck holes, which are permissible and not permissible in the keli. Smag will see a dime because of Amar Rava Klishanike Bekonis Mashka, a vessel which is has a hold which will allow liquid in. Ain't loading many a dime. You can't wash it. Ain't shame clear. It doesn't have the name of a keli. I feel nikav lamala miravis. Even if the hole is in the keli on the side above where it can hold revius, but it contain revius below that hole. Customary should know agree cane afilu b'kli shetef. You had this custom even by metal vessels. Even though Gemara is only mentioned relative to pottery vessels. Even though the shear of allowing liquid in is only mentioned by kli cheres, it's not by wooden vessels. Nevertheless, that which Rava said, that a hole which is punctured so that it allows liquid in. You can't use it for the other time. We should be stringent about all vessels, no matter what their substance. Because in that context, it mentions kli, not specifically kli cheres. They don't just mean just a generic chumrah. This is the primary halacha. V'tamon nearly, and their reasons, says Arukh HaShulchan, any vessel which is designated for the purpose of holding water, but the name shame keli, it no longer can be considered a keli, but he can cut mashka when liquids get in. But kli cheres atzmo, but kli cheres, also the halacha is similar. That this is when, especially when it's designated for holding liquids. Because if you designate the kli cheres for the purpose of holding olives, it's not considered broken. Until unless it has an olive slice hole. They were that which in a wooden vessel you need enough to for a pomegranate to fall out. Because that's the usual use of kliates for large fruit. But even by wooden keli, if it's designated for the purpose of liquids, it's enough that it allows liquids in, that makes it broken. And when you, because you designate them for wine and oil, then the hole is determined as large enough that wine and oil can ooze out of them. But the sheet, so in other words, everything varies depending on the purpose and usage. But the sheet is there's no comparison between these vessels and a vessel made out of earth, which cannot be makabel tuma. And lo shayach shishbu there's no such thing as bringing them so to be taught from tuma because they're not makabel tuma. Anything which is used for washing because it's made to hold liquid, but the shem kli alel, that loses its status as a keli, kekoyes mashk when it allows liquids in. And also according to the Rambam and the Smaki, I would say this year in these vessels, the Bedidu Leka Shura Achrina, there is no other shear to give these vessels for the yesterday. I am a Sif Yud Aleph, which we will not get to tonight. I think, right? We're supposed to get only today till I'm supposed to get Yud Aleph. Yesh Tikva. Okay. Hey. According to these two opinions, there is no difference when if you wash from the top of the rim of the vessel, or if you wash through the hole. Even if there is a revius below the hole. Since the whole issue is that it's not considered to be keli, it's a broken keli. You can't use it for washing. The riot rule Dover Zed, there's a clear evidence for this fact. Me Smag, Shekos of Sham, Bizel Sharo. Smag writes, if not clean Nike Mitzito, if the vessel has a hole on its side, Pakas Mikonis Mashke, if it does not allow liquid in, Umaxi reveals the Matamin Amanekib, that also reveals below the hole, and Boyna Mayin Derech Anekab Yadav, and the water can be poured out through the hole, Al Yadav on his hands to Horos. Ephes, however, and note the Mayim Ovim Chutz Anekib, but those, if you wash your hands through the water which goes beyond the hole, nothing there Svasakli, and they come down over the rim of the vessel, Psulos Hule der Posel Domina Nekib Elch, ain't to a because above the hole it doesn't have the name of a keli. But below the hole it does have the name of a keli, but only because the hole is not big enough that it's going to allow liquid in. So if it's big enough to allow liquid in, then you can't wash even through the hole. And first, the menekah b'kekoyes mashka kolkli psula. It's clear from this that from the smag that if it's the hole is now large enough to allow liquids in, it's possible. Because mashke, and if it's less than koyes mashke, mashka mal min anekah into a still that which is above the hole does not have Torah's kli. Mashka mata yeshos kli. What's below the hole does have the is considered keli. So you have to wash through the hole. Ram Shitosh Genu, Ram, obviously this is the case. The Shreila wrote explicitly the Bashvira Amatayeres with a breakage which makes the Klitor. Ain't loading a dime, you can't wash to use this keli to wash. They say Shiba can because it's a broken vessel. Shitosh Shever Kli, Postulito Yadayim, Meza Makam Shu. It's obvious you're not allowed to wash your hands from a broken keli, no matter from which side or how you pour it out of the keli, of the Shever Keli. Because it's mashke. But if it's less than the size of a, which allows liquid in, like some place in chumras smag, there isn't the chumra of the smag, which was you still have to pour through the hole instead of going to the smag. But I'm not a rush for Tushlam derech aches. Rush will trap differently. The rush b'chulin sham because of klisha nike b'machzik revius. If you have a vessel which has a hole, but it can hold the revius, the matamin aneka below the hole, mutzito derech anekeb. Now we're just going to wash through the hole. I will load derech, but not through the rim. The above the hole is not considered to be a keli. I'm going to show you. The Torah says in Nike B'Koyes Mashke, if it has a hole the size which allows liquid in, but the Torah's keli, it's nullified from the status of a vessel. You can wash it. If you max, it could be a nekelamato. And if it holds the reveals from below the hole, but that specifically should not tell you that there be lamala if you're pouring through over the rim. The mash menek of lamala, that which is above the hole, ain't no chashuv keli. It's not considered a vessel. So it's not going through him from a vessel. And those that are go through the hole. Sorry, that's permissible. Came to master of this man, since all the base below that hole. Kasav smak, have shar lechalek v'chulei. You can distinguish, etc. The daitam the lab bedine tarataya milsa. There's nothing to do with dina matum tara. Sharei nothing gam became shem gam matuma. You can wash also came which are not makabatuma. Elachim sikla rava, so it's not linked at all. Not like the Rambam and the Smak, but rather it's elachim sikla rava the kol kli shenika b'koyes mashka. Rather, according to Rava, any keli which has a hole which allows water in, lo chashiv kli. It doesn't have a chalei shem kli in terms of washing. Came in the mind yotzim shefa derech hanekev. Says water can come out in a nice flow through the hole. Shukoyes mashka. If it's a type of hole which can allow liquid in, it can come out nicely through the hole. Shurabeo said mashka because that koyes mashka is much larger than motzi mashka. What allows liquid in is much more than what that larger than what allows liquid to trickle out. But since nevertheless, what's underneath the vessel, that what's underneath the hole, is considered to still be a keli. Keli turns to Yosedayim. Since the revius below the hole, so that in of itself is the keli for Yosedayim. Look at the top part as if it's not there. So it's clear from their words. The Benike Bachas and Megon is mashke. If it's a hole even smaller than allows liquid in, you can wash even through the rim. Nation Yachshav Skidar still has the status of a Keli, Nation Mime, and Yordi Bahem, the Shefak, the water only trickles out of that pinhole, but doesn't actually come out significantly. Okay, it says the brackets, the Sika to a smack, the title ain't totally Batum of the Taro. Okay, so the smack holds it is totally to Matara, but evidently, but the tour does not. Zayin, Mil Zebshita. This is obvious, however. The call Shinita to Masa Day Shvi Rasa, if it's deliberately been purified from Tuma by breaking the Keli, Gam Rosh Vatuma Nim Shipsul Tias Daim. And even the Rosh Tour agreed that it's possible to Tias Daim, Chain Ein Notlim Bedafnos HaKelim. And therefore you can't wash with the walls of vessels, Kamoshi's bar, as we shall see. V'ad Rabba, on the contrary, Inu Machmarei, they're Machmarei that feel B'klisha Adain, Loni Tar Mitrasa, even the Keli is not yet torn from its Tumah. But the Klish family in Tumah for still considered to be a perfect Keli in order to the Kabbat Tumah. Come Lian the Tzil Sadai, because it's used for whatever, olives or something larger than the size of liquid. Come, nevertheless, the Inyan Tzil Sadai, Limikar Kli. So Tzil Sadai, it's still not called a Kli, even though it's still tummy. Because it has that hole which allows liquid in. But you can't use it even over the rim. Only over through the hole. This way, in this respect, they're makel relative to Rambam Smak and Smak. Didu b'chli keres hamuchla mashkin nifsal kol hakeli b'nek v'kodesh mashke. According to the Rambam Smak and Smak, according to them, a kli keres, which is designated for liquid, nifsal kol hakeli b'nek v'kodesh mashke. The entire vessel becomes stomach, a puzzle. If it has a puncture the size it should allow liquid in, you can't even wash through the hole. No, you are allowed to wash through the hole. Rashi seems to be ununderstandable, unintelligible. Because of a cliche nishma, that a vessel which broke, even though it can hold the revis below the breakage, because of say so if you're not allowed to wash it. The gosh of Malmin Hashever, anything above the breakage ain't to us clear love. So I consider that to have the Chalei Shem Kli. But Shever Kli, it's a broken Kli. Come nevertheless in Derech Hashem and Igori Namayim Al Yodo. Nevertheless, if the broken part it allows the water to flow over it, kind of like a spout, establishing Muteras Tabale Kabarzon. So that's permitted because it's like a spout. When we start with feel nishbar, and it makes sense even if it's broken, as long as that Torah account that breakage, adayin keliu, still a vessel. And we don't divide the kli in half, part vessel, part non-vessel. And anytime we can accept the revius, you turn to muscle, and the breakage is not large enough that it's going to make a Torah from Tumah, mutar li tomi and many dayin kirash use it to watch, ad kan lishonai. Test. His words are cryptic. I think there's the pshat, says the Chashulchan. Could be there that they will say Truma, this really could ask a rush. First, we can say Truma, so it's like rush, come much to the Matamina Shevel, anything below the break, Yeshlo Torres Kli has as Kazakhalei Shem Kli. Yeshlo Revis, it still has can hold Revis. Bukhalish Both Karel Shevel, they just pour out through the broken part. Mashamala, because Shevel that was the puzzle broken part, that's a broken vessel. Mashkas Davle Kabar. So he says it's like a spout. And a Kabar Mamish Kabar. So it's not literally like a spout. A spout is made to be a spout. But it's a broken piece. What does it mean? The low garm is Shovech Derech Nekev Abarza. It's a little bit doichak. He says pouring out through the hole is no worse than pouring out through the hole of a faucet. The Dalchech Elyon remove the upper part, Mikan. You remove it halachically, and that's what's going on. The Rashi, but significantly does not mention the size of the hole. The Adive Rabakai, he's going according to the words of Rabba, that is mashka, that the hole is the size, which allows liquids in. But Chashba said, before she didn't feel necessary to explain it explicitly, can't say the answer to Matara, because he holds this is like the Rosh, there's nothing to Matara. So therefore, that's the size which the hole's got to be. Why? Because the Amaya to be kluch, and even something which allows the liquid in. So the liquid going out can come in a in a flow. Ein ze kli lenatilas yadayim. No, no, he's saying this. He says that. Sorry, that's not what he means here. He says that it has to be that kodesh mashke passes it, because then the water will come out of that hole in a flow. Not when you're washing through the hole. If you're washing elsewhere, the water's coming out and flow from that area. The ain't a clear style can't be clear to the dime. Zoda sefer truma. Oh, that's all the sefer truma. Chakas of Rashi mistabechule. Klamar. The Rashba argues. As shlecholek sefer truma betarte. Two better. Chada lekula. One is more lenient sefer truma. Mashu sober. Sefer truma l'chol shever nifs l'chol shever nifsal kakli to the style sefer truma. So it's any breakage runs the possible to the dime. Omer lokein. Rashba says it's not the case. So anytime it's not torn on account of breakage, it's still a vessel. It's totally kosher. Because that's the Rambam Smak. You don't divide the kli in half. This respect is more makir. Sefer truma. The lower part when it grows, and you can wash from that broken part. Tummy kosher. It's always kosher. You say the aim of Chalkin L'Shlein. Rashbos though, Klomadim Rak Yesh B'Shever K'dei L'Tara Mitumaso. If the breakage is enough to eat Matar from Tuma, Nipso Kol Kli, even if it can hold the revius below the hole. Kedas Smag should be Venu, like the meaning of a Smag. Arukh HaShulchan says, Kain Yirel Anios Daiti. Should be right. So according to everything we clarified, Harambam Asmakva Rashba Chada Shita Tzitza in the Kame. Rashba is like the Rambam and the others, which is that in clean lonim slebenekev, a vessel is not puzzled with a hole, and we can need to muscle nekev because unless this is the way this size should make it taller. Of a shear of the kodesh mashkin, and it can be klichers ham yuchal mashkin, and the shear of kodesh mashkin is specifically by a klichers or any other vessel, which is I would say designated for beverages. Which is designated for other things, and also wood and metal and boneware and glass which are specific for food. The hole does not run a bustle, because that's what makes that tahor. Also dung vessels, which are specified for liquids. Their shear is the size of which allows liquid in. When they're designated for actually it's not actually dung vessels. I made a mistake once learning a sugya. It's something else. I think it's like marbleware. It's not earthenware. It's not dungware. But earthenware, marbleware. Sorry. Also the size which allows liquid in. When the purpose of food, then kazayis. Even though there's not going to be makabel tuma, in other words, they're not makabel tuma because they're not made of a substance which is makabel tuma. Nevertheless, even though makabel tuma, in terms of this time, the whole which makes them puzzle is relative to what they normally are meant to hold. And corresponding to this, or perhaps contradistinction to this, they are machmir, that when there's a hole, which is matire the vessel, even there's a vis from the hole and below, and tomorrow we're going to come back to see the other side, the rush, etc.